Welcome to the Spiritual and Empowerment Living with Tia podcast, a sacred place and resource for spiritually centered women who want to go from the mundane to the magical life, for overcoming fear and doubt, reconnecting with the goddess, understanding messages from spirit, and uncovering your spiritual gifts so you can finally live the life you deserve. Hello, and welcome back, Spiritual Trailblazer, to another episode of Spiritual and Empowerment Living with Tia. So I really like this episode, really because it's so timely. It's going to help you. You can use these herbs really any time of the year, but I specifically looked up herbs for the winter season, and there are reasons why it's really geared towards the winter season, even though you can use them the rest of the year. We'll dive into it. So if you haven't already, I would love to continue to connect with you on my Instagram. So you can go to cosmic_witch_goddess. Yes, I changed the name because I am going through a rebranding. It's going so great. I'm so excited. So you can definitely go there and check out all the other ways I love to connect with people. And I really get a feel more of what's going on in this space here of Cosmic Witch Goddess energy. And of course, you know, the blog is back. And if you haven't checked out the previous post, please do. I'm so excited for you to read the upcoming posts and, you know, this usher in 2021. Woo, what a year. All right, but we got to get through this one first. So keep a lookout for the upcoming blog posts. And if you're not part of the newsletter, get on there because you're going to be one of the first people to know when a post goes live. You know, we send out kind reminders because it's so easy to forget things, you know. All right. Now, the list I'm about to give you for this episode, magical herbs to get you through the winter season. If you want this list, so you can go get what I have here, maybe you want to write some notes down. You might get some inspiration on different ways to use these herbs. Go to tiamariejohnson.com/winter herbs, and you can get the list. You can download it from there. All right. I'm all about lists. Maybe because I'm a Virgo. I don't know. I just like having lists. I could just knock things down. I love writing notes on outlines just so I know what I'm doing. And if I have any, like I said, inspiration, anything else, I got it right there, jot it down, boom, I'm good. Now, to get to a little bit of housekeeping with this. As always, when we talk about stuff like this, I recommend that you contact your doctor. Okay. These are not substitutes for medicine that you're taking. These are recommendations. I don't know you personally. I'm not your physician. I don't know your body. Okay. So, you know, before you dive into using any of these herbs, especially if it's ones that you haven't used before, make sure that you clear with your doctor so it won't interact with your medication in an adverse way, or, you know, if you're allergic or something like that, don't use it. Okay. So I just want to stress that check with your doctor first. And also all things in moderation. Yes, some of these herbs and spices I have on this list are good. They taste good. I love the smell. Can't get enough of them, but all things in moderation. Okay. Next, pay attention to your body, okay? Maybe you don't really like some of these herbs and you feel like, oh, maybe I'll take it anyway because I need to bite the bullet. Pay attention to your body. Maybe one herb makes you too warm because some of these herbs, the reason why they get recommended during the wintertime is because they can warm you up a little bit, okay? Maybe it's just too much for you. All right, pay attention to your body. Now, for some of the fun part, I'm going to give you the magical and practical properties of these herbs. As always, I implore you to do homework, right? This is a small portion of many properties of these herbs and spices, okay? There are many ways you can use these herbs and spices, and some of them you're familiar with, okay? But we're going to talk about the correspondences of these herbs because it's important. It helps us understand what we are putting into our bodies and why we are using these specific herbs for this year. And also, this is not the complete list, right? I'm always thinking about time because I know myself, I can go on and on and on. I can go down a rabbit hole and write a thesis, okay? Because I love to write. So I have here, what is it, 10 total? Yeah, something like that. All right. So, which is why you probably might want to download the list. Again, at tiamariejohnson.com/winter herbs. And of course, it will be in the description for this episode. So, I'm going to give you the magical properties. We're going to talk about that. And then we're going to get to the practical stuff, which will tell you the benefits, etc. All right. A lot of these herbs are great for your immune system. Some, like I said, will warm you up, meaning you'll feel warm. That's one of the reasons why it's really cool to have these in your, spice cabinet for this time of the year. Now, everyone's body is different, as I was explaining earlier. Some of these herbs may work better than others. Okay. A lot of these herbs have the same properties. So it really will be based on your taste buds in the end. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Don't think that you have to have all of these herbs or, it's just not going to work for you and your winter's going to suck. Okay. These, again, are recommendations. And I'm always asking that you do, the extra work because this is how you build your practice. This is how you really confirm what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And also, this is me being transparent, real, and honest with you. I'm not, I can't really think of a time where I'm going to say, this is it. Like, yeah, there will be some times where it's like, okay, this is the actual definition. And I will tell you that. But then also I would say, but there's the connotation version of this, or, this is the definition, but, you can probably bend the rules a little bit with this. Okay. I like to give you other options. I never like it when a content creator makes it seem like it's this way or nothing, or you're not doing it right at all. And it's unfortunate because then people think that they can't do something and they had to spend, X amount of dollars and stuff like that when you really don't. For example, there was a post the other day where someone was asking, why is all the spiritual supplies so expensive, because they want to get candles and things like that. And someone literally typed, you can get these candles at the dollar store. You don't have to go get the candle with all the trimmings, or even if it's a regular candle, you don't have to pay a lot. Okay. So I like to give you options. And I want you to get creative with this. Look up drink recipes. Look up ways to burn the leaves. I think they're called dry leaves. The name escapes me, but I think it's dried where you can burn them. Sprinkle a bit on your latte. All right, get creative. Incorporate this in your pies. Get the oil version of it. Get really creative with how you use these herbs. Okay, let's get started. Number 1, rosemary. Every time I hear rosemary, I think about Practical Magic, and I have the quote here. It's one of my favorite movies. But there are some things I know for certain. Always throw spilled salt over your left shoulder. Keep rosemary by your garden gate. Plant lavender for luck. And fall in love whenever you can. What a quote. Oh, Practical Magic. Oh, love that movie. Mm-mm-mm. All right, here are some magical properties for rosemary. Now, they have planet, but the sun is a star. So the star is the sun. The element is fire. Now I'm going to spend a little bit of time on that. So this is a solar energy herb, meaning that this is something you can use to help you with solar magic. So if you have an altar, you can have rosemary there. If you want to represent the element of fire, you can use rosemary. And also, think about illumination, transformation. A lot of these herbs, element is fire, the star is the sun. Okay, so when you are incorporating rosemary and what you're doing, think about the transformation you want to see happen. Okay, think about the illumination you want to see happen. All right, really think about that because that's what's going down, which is pretty interesting. I'm trying to think other things associated with fire, other properties. Warmth. Okay, so think about that. Powers, protection, love, healing, sleep, mental powers. For protection, you can put rosemary, say, at the what do you call it? Your front door. Some ways are a little bit outdated. The way people use rosemary, and you'll see some of the ways are outdated. The way people use some of the other herbs, like you just wouldn't carry some of these around in your pocket because of the smell of some. But you can use these in, your spells, your protection spell, love spell. You can put it in a satchel. Okay, you could put this underneath your pillow. All right, so when burned, it cleanses your vibration, and I love that. When you burn something, it just gets into the air. You get that aroma, and again, of course, if that isn't for you, you're like, oh no, I can't take that smoke. There are other ways to use rosemary. Okay, you can place it under your pillow, so you can put some rosemary in like a little bag called a sachet. You can create your own bag if you can get one. Again, many ways you can handle this. All right, for a good night's sleep and to help reduce nightmares. It can even connect you with elves if you work with elves. And again, that's a whole nother podcast episode. So if you dive into working with elves and you're a little bit familiar with it, all right, then you can take that route. If you're like, Tia, I don't know anything about elves. I know that there's different types of elves. I don't want nothing to do with that. I'm scared. I haven't done it before. It's all about intention. Okay. You don't have to connect with them via rosemary. All right. It's an incense that can also help to promote love. So when you buy incense, you can ask the person at the store, do you have incense with rosemary in there? And when you burn it, you could think about love, attracting love, what it would feel like to be in love, visualize love. Like I said, get creative with it. And if you have it by your door, like I said earlier, by your door, over your door, it helps keep negativity away. Hence why in the movie Practical Magic, it states here, keep rosemary by your garden gate. All right. Now, rosemary is, of course, showing up as food. It can be an oil. You can burn it like most of the other herbs. Now, for the practical part, it is rich in iron and calcium. All right. Vitamin B. All right. So it has a lot of good benefits. It helps with your nervous system. Okay. Especially during the wintertime, because we just, especially when we are not getting enough sun, we just get in a weird mood, so it helps a lot. So you may want to figure out how you want to incorporate rosemary to help during the wintertime and how it relates to your nervous system. All right. Now, just a couple more points about rosemary before we move on. It's a great source for antioxidants. Antioxidants combat free radicals, and free radicals are one of the causes of cancer. Okay, so you want to take care of that. It's also an anti-inflammatory, which is great, and because of that, it can help boost your immune system and improve your blood circulation, which is great. Who doesn't want that? It helps with your digestion. It is powerful against bacterial infections, and it helps promote your skin cells from damage. So it just helps on so many levels. Okay, so if you can incorporate rosemary into your eating habits. Okay. All right, moving along. Mint. I like mint. It smells good. I like the way it tastes. Some people like, oh no, it needs to be in my tea. Like some people just like, oh, I don't want to eat it. All right. Anyway, moving along. Mercury is the planet it's associated with regarding magical properties. Element is air. Then we have some deities too. Hades and Hecate. All right, so let's just start there before we dive into the powers. Mercury, planet of communication. I'm thinking of also the guy with the wings on his shoes there, just traveling about. All right. So when you are ingesting mint, using mint some kind of way, think about the communication you want to have, which is interesting because mint uh helps to combat bad breath. Right. So it makes you want to communicate even more because you have fresh breath from eating that mint. And also air, and air helps with intellect. Air is also represents wisdom. So, think about how would you want to wisely communicate your thoughts, your feelings with people. Think about that as you're chewing the mint or, using the oil form, whatever the case may be. And moving to Hades and Hecate, Hades is the god of the underworld. So you can look at this as what are some of the things in my shadow realm that I'm not addressing? And the mint can just, really provide a way to create an atmosphere that would allow you to think clearly, right? Because it's associated with air. So it's, what am I suppressing in my life? What have I been avoiding in my life that it's in the shadows, right? So that's one way to look at it. You're having that communication with yourself. And then far as Hecate is concerned, which is, I'm so happy to be talking about her, Queen of the Witches, and also of Crossroads. She is the light bearer. And it's funny because she's the one that helped I hope I pronounce this right. I keep mispronouncing this name. Persephone in the underworld, because she's there for 6 months with Hades, and then she comes up for spring until summer, and then she's back in the underworld again. So it's very interesting that these two deities popped up. So with Hecate, you can have that conversation with her and, figure out where are you at a crossroads in your life again, diving into the wisdom aspect, gaining more wisdom about yourself, communicating with yourself. Where am I at a point where it's a crossroad and I haven't made a decision, something I need to make a firm decision about? Where do I need to shine light on in my life? Think about that. All right. Now, powers. Oh, and to communicate with goddesses, I talked about it in previous episodes. The same thing applies to gods. So you can check it out on previous episodes, communication wise. Powers: money, healing, travel, protection. So you can rub mint on your forehead to help with headaches. My dad actually would rub mint behind his ears as well. He used to take a part of a brown paper bag and he would have mint and he had his little concoction, but it worked. So, again, there are many ways to use mint. And some of the things we can't always exactly explain, but it works. Like when you think about it, do you think how oxygen enter your body and then when you exhale, oh, what is it called when you exhale? I forget. Let me look it up real quick. So I just looked it up real quick. And I want to say carbon dioxide. So when you inhale, it's oxygen. And when you exhale, it states is a change for another carbon dioxide. So I want to make sure I'm reading that right. But anyway, you don't think about how oxygen converts to carbon dioxide. You don't think about when it enters your body. You don't think about the trees and the leaves and how that plays a part in oxygen in your environment. And when you inhale, you don't think about how it goes through your system and what happens when you exhale. Like, you don't stop to think about that. You just know that you're breathing. And that's what I'm saying here. So we can easily get caught up. Even me, I had to pause because I'm thinking, oh God, I was taught this in grade school. What is it called when you exhale? Because you don't exhale oxygen. What is it called? What is it called? What is it called? Okay. So we can easily get caught up in the, who, what, when, where, how, why. Don't think about that. Okay. Of course, do your research. But when you try to figure out the why to every single dot and, comma and things like that, now you are entering a phase where you're so busy trying to prove how it works that you're not really giving it a chance to actually work because you're just so invested in trying to know every single part of the assembly line. That's not your job. It's your job to know as much as you can but not get lost in the sauce. Okay, if that makes sense. All right. So you keep it in your home for protection, and you can use it in spells for money, travel, and protection. And with spells, it's totally up to you how you want to do this. You can YouTube, Google, TikTok, Instagram, and find a bajillion different ways to use mint and a spell for money, for travel, for protection. Okay? Remember, at the end of the day, you are the magic. You make the mundane magical. All right? So it could be as simple as you want, like you just chewing on mint and saying something like, every time I chew, more money comes through, something like that. Totally up to you. All right, moving right along. It's packed with nutrients, okay? It has vitamin A, iron, there's only 1 gram of fiber, but, it's there. All right. And like I said, it helps with improving breath health. All right. Help you with that fresh breath. It's also good for brain function and the digestive system. All right. Garlic. Here's what I meant when I said some things are obsolete. So you're not going to walk around with garlic in your pocket. That's what some people used to do once upon a time. All right. You're not going to put garlic on your windowsill. You're not going to eat a bunch of garlic for courage. That's what some people, I want to say the Romans did when I did my research before battle. They would eat it for courage. So you're not going to eat garlic for courage for an interview, right? You don't want to kill them. I love garlic, but I'm going to have the mint afterwards. So, magical properties for garlic. The planet is Mars, element fire, deity Hecate. We already talked about Mars in previous blog posts because Tuesday planet is Mars, and Mars has to do with courage and war, but war in regards to, like your battles. I'm not saying you had to go fight a whole entire country. Okay. And, all those things associated with Mars. Okay. So if you haven't checked out Magical Days of the Week series, go back to blog.tiamariejohnson.com and type in Tuesday in the search box, and you'll see Magical Day of the Week Tuesday, and you'll see all the correspondences for Tuesday, all that jazz. Okay. So Mars has to do with courage, passion, fire, element, same thing, passion, illumination, all that. So what does that mean? Well, when you are eating garlic, think about what I was saying earlier. What do you want to see transformed in your life? Think about when you cut up garlic. If you slice that garlic too thin, it will evaporate in the sauce, really. Or I guess dissolve is more like it doesn't evaporate, but it will disappear in the sauce, period, right? If you cut it too thin. So it transformed to literally nothing. It's part of sauce. It's gone. So, think about the transformations you want to have in your life. And in this case, there's no going back. Like when you slice the garlic too thin, same thing with onions. You slice it too thin, it's gone, right? So think about the transformations that you want to happen, and there's no going back. Think about what you're passionate about. Think about the courage you want to have, okay, in your life. And remember what I said about all things in moderation. Do not go overboard with garlic because it will seep through your pores, meaning you will smell like garlic, okay, if you have way too much garlic. So just keep that in mind. And same thing with Hecate, crossroads. Where do you need illumination? Okay, she's also keeper of the keys. What do you need to unlock in your life? Think about this while you're eating garlic. Those are the properties of garlic. So when you are incorporating these herbs into your eating lifestyle, you are also picking up some of these properties. You may not realize it, but you may have the feeling of, certain things like love, passion, courage, all these things. And yes, it is part of you, but it's bringing it out in you even more because that's what it's going to do. Right. So think about all the times when you see, okay, for example, I use my pop. Now, I don't think it's on this list. Let me look here. No, it's not. But cutting onions. My pop was so particular about it. He took his time, and even with potatoes, took his time. And I asked him, I said, like, why do you cut it like that? He said he learned it in the military, how to slice it. But he was so focused, right? As if that was his number one job of that day. Not even that moment, that day. It was just like he just wanted to make sure he got an even cut every single time, right? So think about that with the garlic, okay? Think about that in your life. Where do you want to and should give the most detailed, the most care, the most 110% attention? Okay, what needs that in your life? Now, and that's what you're going to unlock. Because like I said, Hecate is also keeper of the key. So unlock that door in your life. Far as powers, protection, healing, lust, anti-theft. All right. So again, you're not going to have this on your windowsill, but you can have it in your refrigerator. You're not going to put it underneath your bed. Okay. But you can have it in your refrigerator. You can cook it, put it in your sauce, put it on your steak. So many ways you can use garlic. Okay. Now, by anti-theft, it just means less likely. Okay. Like garlic isn't going to jump up and attack. Okay. But the energy it puts out there just keeps that negativity at bay. And when you eat it, it will bring out in you lust or courage. Again, about intention. Okay. Now, it has nutrients, it has vitamin C, B6, all that goodness. Now to the practical. It can help with the common cold. Okay. It can help with blood pressure and heart disease, help with preventing Alzheimer's disease and dementia. So it has properties to help keep that at bay or at least lower it. Okay. Like I said at the top of the episode, still see your doctor. This is one factor amongst others. Still take your medicine. This is just one thing that could help you along the way. Okay. And it contains antioxidants, which is always great. And it also helps to reduce the lead toxicity in your body. All right. Well, other metals, but, in particular lead. All right. Ginger. I actually like ginger. So my dad, he lived in Japan for a while. He loved Japanese food. He would eat the wasabi like it was nobody's business. And I would look at him and he would just be sweating like a dog. I mean, well, dogs don't sweat, but you get what I'm saying. It's an expression. And he would have his little towel with him and he'll dab his face and he'll eat more of the wasabi. And I'm just looking at him like, this is crazy. And I remember I had like a little bit of wasabi, and I was just like, wow, that's powerful. But I had the ginger. I mean, it's an acquired taste. I'm not saying I would eat all the ginger that's presented to the table, but I like it. So planet is Mars, element is fire. We talked about those two planets. Now we can look at this from a slightly different perspective. Acquired taste. Ginger is, you know, it's it's not the most dainty of the taste that you can have. Uh, so when you are looking at this from the Mars and fire standpoint, what is it in your life that has to be an acquired taste? For example, maybe you're at a job that you don't like, but you kind of grew to like it a little bit. You had a rough start, but now you're at a better place. Okay. Maybe relationship wise, you had a rough start. And not that anyone's a bad person. Maybe you just had to learn to be vulnerable. Maybe you had to learn better communication skills and you worked it out and now you're in a better place. So where in your life had to be an acquired taste? All right. Powers: love, money, success, power. Now, if you eat this before doing a spell, it's gonna like heat you up a little bit. You're gonna feel a little warm. So really think about that because that's great. It can add to the power of the spell because it's like you're getting revved up. Okay, you can use this in money and success spells. Again, any way you see fit, right? You can just chew on ginger, right? Eat it. Okay. Maybe you want to put it in a little container. Maybe you do want to carry it. It's up to you. Maybe you want to put it in a jar with the crystal. And then tie it with the green ribbon. It's up to you how you want to do these spells. Okay. But you can use it for money, success, power, love. Okay. This is also an anti-inflammatory and moving on to the practical side. And it will help with your antioxidants. Okay. It also helps with nausea, morning sickness, helps to lower your blood pressure or blood sugar level. It helps with heart disease, weight loss, menstrual pain, indigestion, and cholesterol levels. All right, moving along. This is number 5. We're like midway through the list. Turmeric. I love turmeric. I put turmeric in my eggs, and oh my gosh, I just use sea salt, black pepper, and turmeric. And I gotta tell you, game changer. Also, I was told that it helps with your thyroids. Now, I've been using turmeric for a while anyway because it's anti-inflammatory. So I'm exploring that route now. All right. Magical properties, purification. Great. Like I said, anti-inflammatory and increases the antioxidants in your body. It helps improve brain function and it will help to lower your risk of heart disease, Alzheimer's, and depression. All right, orange. Now, you may not think orange as something you would want to eat during the winter time, but here's what I have learned. Once upon a time, oranges were given as gifts for Christmas. Okay. Now this dates back to a version of how Santa Claus came to be. The Saint Nick guy came around. He like saved women from slavery, and he like tossed. I forget what he tossed, but anyway, people couldn't accept that, and then oranges. Long story short, oranges became the gift. But when someone gave you an orange, it was a symbol of wealth because oranges had to be I think like imported. It just wasn't in that area. So if someone got you an orange, they mean that they had money to get you an orange. Now today it's not a big deal, right? It's like you can get an orange just about anywhere. But some people still use that for some just like symbology, purpose, like just like an ode to the past. So you might see like blood orange, candles. You might see, like the orange realm, different oranges, just again as like an ode to the past. But I figured it'd be cool to put the orange in here just because it's relation to wintertime, you'll, that whole time of the year. So magical properties, sun, which is a star, and fire. And we talked about sun and fire. Love, divination, luck, money are some of its powers. You can use the pills and seeds and the sachet for love, which again is just a little pouch that you tie and you carry around with you. Now, you may not want that. You may think, Tia, I am not trying to smell like oranges. Walking around, I would have to wash the seeds, which of course you can do. It's totally up to you. Or maybe you want to put it in a jar, So you can use the pills in the prosperity spell. And it's very similar to an apple, in which when you eat it, you can ask a yes or no question. And then when you're done, you look at how many seeds are left. Okay. And I want to say for the apple, if it's even, it's yes. If it's odd, it's no. Now I've seen it flip flop time and time again. You make the call. If you want to say even means yes, odd means no. If you want to say odd means yes, even means no. Pick one, stick with that, so you're not flip flopping. So you get the answer that you want. Okay, so you know, again, like I said, I've seen many texts that made even one way, odd one way, even the other. So make a decision before you eat the orange. Ask a question, focus on that question, yes or no. Does Johnny like me? Will I get the job? And also, when you're doing this, detach from the outcome. Maybe Johnny does like you for a moment and that moment passed. Okay. Don't hold these answers to such a hard truth that nothing else can happen. Okay. Because that's not true. Someone can like you for a moment and it may be a fleeting moment. Okay. You may have gotten a job, something may have happened in the background, and now they're like, no, we're going to give it to this person. You don't know what's going on in the background. Okay. So I'm putting that out there. Sometimes things don't pan out the way we want it to, and we think things don't work. That's not the truth. There are more things going on than just what we want to happen or what we see. All right. Now, this is high in water. So it has a high water content, which is great. That's what we want. It has sugar, carbs, fiber. It has like 2.44 grams of fiber. But of course, check it because oranges come in all different sizes. And then, you got your clementine, you got, like different types of oranges. So check the label. All right. Connect with your doctor because there is sugar in here. So you want to make sure that you're not using this, but then increasing your sugar levels. Like I said at the top of the episode, connect with your doctor. Okay. Double check with your doctor before you do this. All right. Moving along to the practical side. It helps with kidney stone prevention, anemia prevention. It is high in vitamin C. It helps with your gut health. And yeah, so it can help with your sleeping habits. It can make you feel full, which is great. So this is something that's cool that you want to have during the winter time. All right. All right. Number 7, cinnamon. Oh, one of my favorite herbs, or I guess this is a spice. Cinnamon does warm you up. All right. make you feel warm inside. I know, like when I put cinnamon in my coffee, sometimes I drink my coffee black. Like 99% of the time. Every now and then I'll put cream and sugar in it. Like when I'm at a diner. Other than that, I drink my coffee black, like extra strong, and sprinkle a little cinnamon in there. And there's some magical properties when you put cinnamon in black tea. Black coffee is what you want to drink. It's the healthiest way to drink coffee. And I'm not saying that like, oh, I drink coffee the healthy way. I just really like black coffee. And then I learned its properties. But yeah, and it's cool. I feel warm. I love it. Even when I go to Starbucks and I know it's like, Tia, you have your latte, you're like diluting everything, but it tastes good. I like the way cinnamon tastes. And pies, like sweet potato pie, it just tastes good. So it's star is the sun, element fire, deities, Venus and Aphrodite. And I believe I read somewhere that cinnamon is also an aphrodisiac. Powers include spirituality, success, healing, um, and it helps with psychic powers, lust, protection, love. You can burn it as incense. It helps to raise your spiritual vibration, draw in money, protection, and increase your. I talked about psychic powers. It does a lot. Bottom line, it does a lot. I've seen people use it to help them with protection and love. And I think it's just because cinnamon, it just has that smell. Like it's just something about the smell of cinnamon that puts you in a zone. And I think for a lot of people, it's that love, that warm feeling. You just know when someone has cinnamon in, it's just, you can't really explain it. It just feels wholesome and good and warm. All right. It is loaded with antioxidants, like most of the herbs on this list. It helps with anti-inflammatory issues, or it is an anti-inflammatory. It helps with heart disease, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's disease, and it helps to lower your blood sugar levels. All right, number 8, nutmeg. Magical properties, Jupiter. Oh, that's a new one. That's the planet. Nutmeg has the element of fire. Now let's talk about Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet associated with Thursday, and Jupiter is all about prosperity and money, honey. Oh my gosh, that probably sounded weird. It sounded better in my head. Uh, so this is aligned with its powers: luck, money, health, of course, good luck, and prosperity. So you can do prosperity spells, health spells, good health spells, good luck spells, money spells using nutmeg. How do you want to use that? It goes back to what I said. What type of spell do you want to do? Do you want to do a spell where you incorporate you putting a little bit nutmeg in a drink? Do you want to bake something and eat that and envision every time you eat, you're receiving prosperity, you're receiving money, you're receiving good luck, you're receiving good health. Okay. And just the act of baking is you creating something, right? The fire, the warmth, the heat in the oven is transforming all the ingredients into bread, into pie, into whatever. Okay. And then you're reaping what you have sown, which is that pie, that bread, whatever, that you incorporate nutmeg. And now you get to receive, enjoy it, be present, okay, when you're eating it. Now, moving on to the practical side, it's known to help relieve pain, soothe indigestion, help with your cognitive function, detoxify the body. It's a great booster for skin health. And it goes on and on and on. It helps with enzymia, helps with your immune system, helps improve blood circulation. So these are really great things, okay? And there are so many ways you can incorporate nutmeg into what you eat and drink. Cardamom. Number 9, magical properties. Venus. We have a new one, water. And I try to say that in the most non-Philly way, not on purpose. I say it that way because I remember in English class, my sophomore year, one of the students asked the teacher, "How do you pronounce water?" Because I'm from Philly, so I pronounce Philadelphians pronounce water as water, WODDER, not as WATER. And then the list goes on depending on where you're located in the United States. I heard water, water. It goes on and on. So water. And Venus, which is pretty cool because, it also makes me think of Aphrodite. It's a lot of love and emotion involved in here. The power here is lust and love. And the deity here is one that I'm not familiar with. And I want to make sure I pronounce this right. I believe it's pronounced Erzuli. Erzzulie, and Erzuli is the Haitian African spirit of love, beauty, jewelry, dancing, luxury, and flowers. Yeah, this is pretty cool. So again, check out previous episodes on how to connect with these deities. All right, so which is very fitting for her to be here because again, the power is lust and love. So you can use the seeds so the research I did has here, ground seeds are added to warm wine for a quick lust potion. Now, you may think like, oh my gosh, like a lust potion. You can do this with your lover. You can, say, honey, you've been so busy. I've been so busy. This year has been crazy. We haven't really had like a good date night. Let's just drink this lust, not lush. that's something completely different. Lust potion, and let's like rev up our emotions and our feelings because we've just been so busy trying to survive through this time that we haven't given us time. So it doesn't have to be a bad thing to have a lust potion. Okay. And you can make love sachets and incense. Okay, so there's so many ways you can use this. On the practical side, antioxidant, of course, that's what it is. The diuretic, so you may want to be careful with that because many trips to the bathroom. Helps to lower your blood pressure. It's anti-inflammatory. It helps with breath health, so it will help you with fresh breath. And it also increases the airflow in your lungs and helps to improve your breathing. So, overall, as I was saying earlier, a lot of these herbs and spices have similar properties. At the end of the day, it depends on your taste buds, what you like to work with, your smell sensitivity. Some smells you may not like. Okay. Now, I have number 10, the final one, but it's actually 2 herbs here because I wanted to find something that had the word winter in it. So I found 2, winter's bark and wintergreen. I wasn't able to find too much information on winter's bark. So we're still going to talk about it. All right. So when I looked up winter's bark, like I said, it wasn't much information. But what I have here is that its power includes success, and you can carry or burn winter's bark to ensure success in all your undertakings. And so it looks like you might have to order this from somewhere. I just don't see it around too often, but also I haven't been looking for it. So you may have to do a little bit of a search on, Google or ask around, hey, where can I get winter's bark? And I can just, burn it to bring in more success in my life. Now, with the wintergreen, when I did some digging on that, I saw that it had some aspects of aspirin in it, possibly. And I know some people can be allergic to aspirin, but also wintergreen is found in gum and other things, so they may extract the aspirin. Again, connect with your doctor. look up these ingredients, all that. Like I said, I did some research, but of course you had to do, excuse me, do more independent research, dig a little bit deeper, talk to your doctor. Now, for the wintergreen, plant, or it's not a planet, but for this purpose, they have here moon, and the element is water. And this is the second herb here that has water. Everything else has been fire. So that's pretty cool. You're diving into your emotions, and connecting with your intuition with wintergreen. The powers here include protection, healing, hex breaking. Okay, so you may want to use that when you feel like, you're having a bit of a bad luck spell, you think someone hexed you and you're not really sure. Of course, do your due diligence and make sure you didn't offend anyone, etc. You can use a sachet to put underneath a pillow, okay, to help bring more good fortune throughout your life. I would imagine it smells good. I haven't used wintergreen besides the gum, but I'm not going to count that because that's not the actual plant. Okay, so you can, sprinkle it around your house if you want to help keep negativity at bay. You can use the fresh sprigs, to place it on your altar to call upon good spirits to witness and aid in your magic. So there are so many ways you can use wintergreen. But yeah, so it's like a bonus 2-for-1, number 10. But I wanted to get something that had winter in there, like I said. Okay, quick recap. Let me scroll up here because I got my notes. All right. Number 1, rosemary. Number 2, mint. 3 is garlic. 4 is ginger. 5 is turmeric. 6 is orange. 7 is cinnamon. 8 is nutmeg. 9 is cardamom. And 10 is winter's bark and wintergreen. If you want this list, go to tiamariejohnson.com/winter herbs. So you can go take that list, go get your herbs at the local supermarket. All right. And, you can write down what you want to do with these herbs, create a pie, create bread, make a sauce, whatever the case may be. And then you can write, a little bit of a reflection, how it helped you, and give this some time too. Some things might happen the same day, some things might take a week or two, but really get involved in it. Really think about, the element of fire, element of water, please help me, grant me in this area, strength, power, love, success. Really get into it and have that communication. Oh, and one was air, right? Yeah. So really understand the elements and these deities, and you don't have to work with the elements and the deities. It's just that's the property, the correspondences associated with these elements. Okay. So if you're like, Tia, I don't want to work with any of those gods or goddesses, I'm nervous, I don't know what I'm doing. You don't have to do it. If you're like, I haven't worked with any elements, I'm nervous, I don't know what I'm doing, you don't have to work with them. But this is for your knowledge, so you understand that when you are eating garlic, you're tapping into the energy of Mars and fire. Okay, so you're going to get a revved up feeling about protection, healing, lust, protection from negativity. So you might be feeling that. You might have a conversation about that and not even realize why. So this is give you the background information of influences in your life. Okay, that's what I have for you, spiritual trailblazer. I'm rooting for you as always. I'm sending you so many blessings. Until next time. Oh, and don't forget to be kind to yourself. As always, spiritual trailblazer, thank you for tuning in. Do make sure to stop by and visit me at tiamariejohnson.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Last but not least, be kind to yourself. I'm rooting for you, and I'm sending you so many blessings. Until next time.